Good morning from the heart of New York City. This is a Better Self Daily Show dedicated to one thing to learn and apply to live as a better self daily. I'm your host, Angela Sharina, your personal trainer, your personal nutritionist, your personal health and wellness coach, your fellow biohacker, and just someone with a lot of passion for healthy living, healthy eating, healthy food, nutrition, fitness, movement, longevity, feeling your best, looking your best, and performing your best on all levels. Happy Sunday, everyone, and happy Earth Day. And today, dedicated to Earth Day, Sunday, everything, or just because I so love eating nuts, we are dedicating this episode to nutcase, or how to choose your healthy nuts, what to avoid, how to store them so you get only benefits, not all the bad cholesterol or increased risk of heart disease or diabetes or increased inflammation, because you can get all of that from your nuts if you're not eating them right, if you don't know how to buy them, if you don't know how to store them, if you don't know what kind of nuts to eat. Well, first, let's talk about buying your nuts. Ideally, you want to make sure that your nuts, when you buy them, are in airtight sealed container. The best is vacuum sealed. But if you cannot get that, get your nuts, not the ones that lay outside and you get them by scooping from some from some basket or some kind of container. But try to get your nuts sealed, and the best scenario is actually having your nuts sealed and stored at the store somewhere when it's cool and dry. Because believe it or not, but nuts can go bad even though they look so hard and tough. The reason is because nuts, as you might know, are very high in nuts are very high in fats, but most of those fats actually are either monounsaturated fats that are more stable and more prone to and more stable at room temperature and in the light. And then also there are polyunsaturated fats that are very unstable, and even though those fats are in a package in your whole nut, they still go bad if you store them outside, if you expose them to a lot of oxygen, a lot of heat, and if you expose them to a lot of moisture and you buy them at the store where the temperature is not cool, then also there is a big chance that there is going to be a lot of bacteria that is not beneficial for your gut, and you might actually feel sick after eating nuts. And that bacteria accumulates, and actually a lot of toxins, especially on some nuts that are not even nuts, and you're not supposed to eat them. Those are peanuts. So make sure that at least if you ever eat peanuts, although this is the nut that is actually legume, I wouldn't recommend you to eat. It should be definitely in a sealed container. It should be stored properly, not in some open case where you grab a lot of them. But let's continue. So first, when you're buying your nuts, you want to make sure that they're well packed and ideally in some cool place. The second thing, you want to make sure that it's very, very important that your nuts are either raw or dry roasted, meaning on the ingredient list there are only nuts and no oils, no canola oil, not peanut oil, no sunflower, safflower, none of that. Because when they manufacture nuts and when they dry them at when they roast them at some facility, they do that at high temperature, and all those fats that might be okay if they're expelled at low temperatures, all those oils become rancid, become toxic, and some of them even become trans fats. And trans fats are proven by studies to increase your risk of getting heart disease, to increase your bad cholesterol, it decrease your good cholesterol, to increase your chances of getting diabetes, and they produce toxins that are toxic and really damaging for your brains. So when you buy your nuts fried in some or roasted in some vegetable oils, it's basically not doing anything good for you. It's quite the opposite. So you damage your brain, you damage your body, you increase your inflammation levels, you increase your risk of heart disease and diabetes, all the things that actually you might be decreasing consuming your nuts the right way. So no oils in your nuts, dry roasted or raw. And in most cases, you can find those at any store if you just, care enough about yourself to actually make the right kind of choice. So dry roasted or raw nuts. Even better if you can find something like sprouted almonds. That's like perfection. So you bought your nuts, right? And when you come home, most of those nuts, you gotta, unless you're eating them right now, you gotta transfer them in some kind of jar or sealed container because nuts are but sensitive to moisture, and they're very sensitive to be exposed to high temperatures and especially light, again, because they contain fats that are sensitive to light, temperature, moisture, and they also can accumulate different bacteria that is not beneficial to you when you consume it. So you gotta put your nuts in some sealed containers and put them in the fridge. So that's how you store your nuts. So storing them just wherever is not great. Another good option, not the fridge, but you put them in a sealed container and put them in some dry place where they're not exposed to any kind of temperature. So don't put them over your stove or somewhere near your stove or nowhere near where they can be exposed to a lot of heat. If you want to get the benefits from your nuts, all the vitamins and minerals and electrolytes and antioxidants and beneficial for your brain and your body anti-inflammatory fats. So that's how you store your nuts. And what kind of nuts you should be buying in the first place? Well, obviously, you understand that I'm not a fan of peanuts, and not only me. Peanuts, probably when you buy a lot of products, they can say, may contain peanuts or soy or dairy, whatever. But peanuts are proven to be one of the most often causing allergic reactions food. And why? Well, first of all, they're not nuts, they're legumes. They're really hard on your digestion, and they tend to accumulate a lot of bacteria that is toxic to your gut, that produces a lot of inflammation in your gut. They also tend to accumulate a lot of toxins. And especially if they are not properly stored and transported. So basically, you just want to avoid peanuts if you want to avoid more inflammation, indigestion, or increased allergies, all of that. If you want to avoid, then stay away from peanuts. There are so many nuts that you can be eating instead of peanuts. Yes, they're cheaper, but do you want to feel like indigestion, gas, constipation, inflammatory reaction, and just feel bad and low on energy every time you eat peanuts just to save a little bit of money? That peanuts is not on your necessary nutrition list, so do not eat them. The same actually to a much lesser degree goes to cashews, and a lot of you might not know that, but cashews has a lot of anti-nutrients or lectins or special kind of proteins that also tend to cause inflammatory reaction in your gut. So cashews also might cause problems with digestion and also increase your inflammation levels, but there are not so many studies on that. But make sure that you're getting your cashews dry roasted or raw. So no oils again, and a lot of cashews are roasted in oil. So make sure you're getting your cashews without oils unless you want to increase again the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and all this good stuff. Plus damage your brain. So what are the good nuts you can be eating? Of course, first of all is walnuts, shaped like brain nut that is actually good for your brain because it's richer than other nuts in omega-3 fatty acids, long-chain omega-3 fatty acids. So they're a little bit different than the ones that you get from fish, but this still is amazing nut for your brain. By the way, all the nuts that I'm talking about, and most of the nuts are very high in fiber that most people lack in their diet. They are also very high in potassium and magnesium that are very important electrolytes and brain essential minerals. They also usually have quite good amount of iron that also a lot of people are deficient in. They also have calcium, and some of the nuts have a really good amount of vitamin B6 that with other B vitamins helps the body to turn food into energy. So when people are deficient in vitamin B, that's why they also lack energy and they seem to need to eat a lot. Why? Because the body is not able to get energy from food. So it's not like you eat food and you get the energy. Your body actually has to absorb the nutrition from food, and B vitamins and B6 specifically that nuts are rich in help your body to get the energy to make the energy from the food and extract the nutrition from your food. And also it helps to maintain calm and healthy nervous system and support adrenal function. And also B vitamins are very important for your brain and liver function and growth and building blood cells. And what nuts are the richest is, for example, vitamin B6, and I also really recommend those nuts. Of course, macadamia nuts and pistachios, those are also very high in vitamin B6. So walnuts is, your nut number one, your brainy nut. And then pistachios and macadamia nuts are high in B6 vitamins, plus they're also high in iron, and of course magnesium and potassium and a lot of fiber. They have a lot of monounsaturated fats that are amazing for your body and longevity and your brain, and to decrease inflammation and all-cause mortality. Then of course you want to eat your almonds that are really rich in vitamin E, one of the major antioxidants that help your body to protect itself from damage and stressors of environment and daily life. So almonds are amazing. Then pecans are also amazing, high in magnesium and potassium, and a little bit higher on good saturated fats. Pine nuts are rich in magnesium, but especially rich in magnesium, 84% actually of your daily need in just 100 grams. Then 41% of iron and 23% of potassium. So pine nuts, they're on the more expensive side, but I believe they're first hard to find, have amazing taste, and then second or third of all, they have a lot of iron, a lot of magnesium, a lot of other vitamins and minerals, amazing nutrition profile. And then hazelnuts that are also actually high in vitamin B6 that we talked about, that supports your liver, your brain function and growth, building new blood cells, but also that is very important, vitamin B6 help your body to make energy and get nutrition out of your food. So to sum it up, you want to buy your nuts dry, roasted or raw, no oils, and you want to ideally get them either vacuum packed or just packed in airtight containers to avoid unnecessary and unwanted bad bacteria and toxins that can accumulate on them. When you get home, put them in sealed containers. Don't expose them to too much light, too much heat, too much moisture. The best way to store them is put them in some sealed container and put them in the fridge or in a dry dark, cool place. And the best nuts to buy are walnuts, high in omega-3s, especially pistachios, macadamia nuts, hazelnuts that are rich in vitamin B6 and also rich in iron, almonds that are really rich in vitamin E, pecans that are really rich in magnesium and potassium. Other nuts have all the too, and pine nuts that are especially rich in iron but also magnesium and potassium. And make sure not to eat peanuts. They are not even nuts. They can cause inflammation. They can screw up your gut bacteria and cause different allergic reactions in your body. And also cashew is a very questionable item, but they are yummy nut. And if you eat them, buy them dry roasted and see how you feel. So this is your guide to buying, storing, and eating nuts. And just remember, nuts are really, really good for you, and they're on the menu of the longest living people. They're really high in fiber, in electrolytes that are so needed for cell function and brain function, like potassium, magnesium, calcium, iron. Also, Brazil nuts, actually, I forgot about this, mighty nuts, has a lot of selenium, and by eating 2-3 nuts a day, you supply all the selenium you need. And selenium is a great antioxidant that also produces the longevity effect in your cells. So basically you feel younger and look younger. So Brazil nuts, one of the rarest natural source of selenium when it comes especially to plant foods. So Brazil nuts, remember that, get it too. Dry roasted, of course, or raw. And yeah, go get your nuts. They're amazing snacks. Buy the right kind of nuts without oil, dry roasted or raw. Store them well, eat them right, and enjoy more energy, healthier gut, longevity, and more vitamins and minerals and electrolytes, all that comes with your healthy, mighty nuts. So this is Angela. If you have more questions about healthy eating, healthy living, nutrition, fitness, you can always send me a question to Angela@createyourself.today, Angela@createyourself.today, and have amazing Earth Day. Eat some nuts to celebrate it. And till next time, live as a better self today.